Postpartum is really the rest of your life after you have a child. It doesn't kind of like ever end. Postpartum is challenging, period. Your physical body has to recover from the birth process. Your mind has to adjust to whatever your birth ended up looking like, which sometimes it doesn't look like what you hoped for. I will say that my first one with my eldest daughter was probably the most challenging. I had a cesarean birth that I didn't expect, and I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared for postpartum in general. I wasn't prepared for recovery after major surgery. I wasn't prepared for breastfeeding. I wasn't prepared for really what life after having a child looked like. It wasn't until I found a support group that I started seeing myself in a new light, seeing myself on the other side of a person who had no children to a person that had a child. And to this day, that helped cement for me the importance of postpartum support groups. People need to see what it looks like to be a parent in other people. And I will tell you that in these support groups, there's always tears shed. There is always tears shed. We have to be allowed to mourn what we are not anymore before we can really fully embrace what our new life looks like. I think one of my best postpartum experiences happened with my fourth child. I ended up having a hospital birth, and I had a fine vaginal delivery, but after I pushed, and maybe because they put me in the position with flat on my back with my feet in the stirrups, it somehow kind of blew out my hips, and I could not walk for probably about 3 weeks. I really couldn't comfortably walk, and that was scary because I had 3 other children. And I'm going to tell you, one of the reasons why it ended up being one of the best postpartum experiences is because I truly had to ask for help. I could only be in the bed with my new baby. At first it seemed like such a liability, but at the end of the day, there was this sweetness that came about, she and I recovering together, until I felt strong enough to take on more. And so looking back, I think it's one of the smartest postpartums. Kind of forced into really laying low, but the recovery was so much better. Postpartum to me should be like you're in this magical pink bubble of love. All you're doing is just learning and loving on your baby and loving on your partner, the people that are supporting you. When I say this, you're going to think it's an easy thing to do, but I found this to be very difficult for new moms to do. I advise new moms to have a 15-minute break every day away from their baby. When they're feeling up to it, getting outside. One of my favorite things to do was to go into nature, and I would hug trees. When I look up at the leaves and I see like all that tree has produced, and I'm like, I just made a baby. This tree made like 1 million leaves like this season. I'm a part of nature, and I'm a part of the cycle of life. And so hugging a tree, I feel like I'm hugging an ancient grandmother that's been there on the earth for a really long time, and it makes me feel really at peace. So when I go back into my home with all my responsibilities, I feel stronger, and it helps. That's crazy though, right? Yeah. I tell people that, they laugh. I'm like, hug a tree, you're gonna feel so much better. And they're like, okay.